When my wife asked for a divorce after 10 years together, she didn't cry. She smiled. She sat across from me at the kitchen table and told me she'd outgrown me. According to her, I wasn't ambitious enough anymore, I wasn't exciting, I was too focused on work and living like an old man. The part that stung wasn't even the divorce. It was when she said, "My family's business will always be here, I'll never have to worry about money." I just nodded. "You'll be fine," she added, "you always land on your feet." She wasn't wrong. What she didn't know was why. Her family owned one of those online businesses everyone thought blew up overnight. Millions in yearly sales, thousands of orders every week, warehouses, employees, the whole thing. To everyone else, her dad was the genius behind it. Behind the scenes, I built the website. I negotiated every supplier contract. I automated shipping. I handled payroll. I managed taxes. I personally covered cash flow whenever sales dipped. For 6 years, I'd quietly loan the company money whenever they were short. No interest, no publicity, I never wanted credit because they were family. Most people assumed I was just the quiet husband. I preferred it that way. So when the divorce was finalized, I didn't argue. I transferred my ownership shares exactly like the lawyers agreed. I resigned from my position. Canceled every personal guarantee attached to the business. Stopped funding inventory. And walked away. I never threatened anyone. I never asked for revenge. I simply stopped doing work nobody knew I was doing. The first week nothing happened. The second week payroll was delayed. The third week suppliers refused to ship because invoices hadn't been paid. Then their website crashed. Apparently nobody else knew how to maintain it. Orders piled up. Customers demanded refunds. Negative reviews flooded social media. Advertising campaigns shut off because they were linked to my business accounts. Within 2 months, revenue had dropped by almost 60%. My ex-wife called me for the first time since the divorce. She didn't ask how I was. She asked if I could just help for a little while. I told her I wasn't qualified. There was silence. Then she whispered, "Please." I wished her the best and hung up. A week later her father called. He wasn't angry. He sounded defeated. He admitted he'd never realized how much I actually did. He apologized for treating me like I was just another employee. I thanked him. Then I told him I had already accepted another job. That part wasn't entirely true. I hadn't taken another job. I'd started my own company. Funny enough, several of their biggest suppliers and business partners reached out after hearing I'd left. They wanted to work with me instead. Turns out relationships matter. Within a year, my company was doing better than I'd ever imagined. One afternoon, I ran into my ex-wife at a coffee shop. She looked exhausted. She asked if I was seeing anyone. I told her yes. She looked down at the floor and quietly said, "I made the biggest mistake of my life." Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. But I smiled, wished her well, picked up my coffee and walked away. The last thing I ever heard about her family's business was that they sold it for a fraction of what it had once been worth. People still think they lost everything because of bad luck. Only 4 people know the truth. Sometimes the most important person in the room is the one nobody notices until they're gone.